Okay, thank you. Thank you, Robert. And on my behalf also, welcome all to the launch event of the Nordic Economic Policy Review 2025. So this is a volume that I edited together with Antti Kauhanen, who sits here in the front row and may take all the difficult questions in the end. Okay. This Nordic Economic Policy Review is an annual publication where the editorial responsibilities rotate among the Nordic countries. We have had this for the last 2 years, and now last year when we started planning this issue, we thought that wage setting would be a timely issue. At that time, there was a debate on public sector wage programs that were increasing public sector wages, possibly above what was the sort of norm in the other sectors. At that time, there was a lot of discussion on industry level versus local bargaining, with forest industries leaving the industry level bargains and moving the negotiations to the local level, and with technology industries possibly planning to follow the lead. Eventually they did not. At that time there was also a lot of talk about coordination of wages across the different sectors. Something that we call the Finnish model, or that some people did like to call the Nordic model, as in Finland we often like to look at Sweden or the Nordic or the Danish model as an example on how things should be arranged here in Finland. In a lot of cases, it's not clear what the Nordic model means. Some of the key features of the Nordic model include that is something that is joint in all the Nordic countries, is that we still have a very strong unions, very strong employer organizations. Union density in the Nordic countries is still the highest in the world. Sweden had the world record in the 1990s, Finland was close second, and even though the union density has declined, it's still at the top of the world. It's the case that national, low industry level wage bargains affect and in some cases determine wages of a lot of workers. It's still also the case that we have no minimum wage laws, at least so far, given that the industry level contracts set the minimum standards of wage contracts rather than having that through legislation. And it's still also true that that coordination of wages across sectors is important way of containing wage spirals and competitiveness of export industries. We will hear a presentation of the last point as a first part of the talk today. If we are looking at the Nordic countries for an example, it's nice to know what the Nordic model really means. In this session, we let the Swedes talk about the Swedish model, the Danes talk about the Danish model, and if we had Norwegians here, they would talk about the Norwegian model, but you will have to refer to the Norwegian model in the actual publication that I hope that many of you will have a chance to look at perhaps after this event. I'm not sure that the description of the Nordic model that is popular in Finland would be exactly similar than what would be the impression of the Swedish model in Sweden. For example, I'm not sure that we would find a lot of labor economists in Sweden who would describe the Swedish labor market as extremely flexible, given that the Swedish wage distribution is probably the most compressed in the world, but we'll perhaps get more knowledgeable comment on this also. However, it's true that the Nordic model has been successful. It's true that it has been extremely successful, and in the early 1990s, when Matti Pohjola, Jukka Pekkarin, and Bob Rawthorne wrote a book about the corporatist system that pretty much meant the system where wages are negotiated between the unions and employer associations and coordinated across sectors. they refer this as a superior economic system, the best economic system that there is there in the world compared to the alternatives at least. More recently, Darren Acemoglu has often taken the Nordic model as an example of how to combine rapid growth, high employment, low inequality, and trust in institutions. Okay, Darren was probably referring to the Swedish model, but we are happy to take the part of the fame at the same time. Eventually, okay, but the Nordic model has been successful. It's not clear that the success will be there forever. There are challenges to the Nordic model. Some of the challenges are there, something that will affect the labor markets. For example, having a system with very high degree of organization on both sides of the labor market is going to be different from a system where the connections between the workers and the employers are looser, and more of the bargaining will happen at the local level. There will be challenges on how to coordinate wage setting in the system if the wages are not negotiated between the organizations, and even starting from how to know what's the level of wage increases unless there's no contract to refer to. There's also a challenge on how to adjust the wages to changes in demand for labor that will happen, for example, as the needs for the healthcare and say education will increase, while perhaps the demand for labor in manufacturing will decrease, and at the same time allow the market forces to work and to maintain coordination that fulfills its initial task of avoiding excessive increase in wages and erosion of international cost competitiveness. Okay, so that's what we are trying to do in this issue. We will have 5 papers, so we have 5 papers in the issue. 2 of those will be presented here today. Lars Calmfors will talk about pattern bargaining, so that is exactly how to coordinate wages across sectors. And then we will have a talk about the Danish public sector wage system based on the Danish Public Sector Wage Commission after that. We will not talk about the papers on unions. I might mention that the latest one of these papers is a Norwegian paper that is based on changing tax deductibility of union fees. We never thought that something like that could be done in Finland, but apparently that type of research might be possible in Finland in the future also. And then Antti Kauhanen's paper on extension of the union contracts across workers who are not union members is the final, actually, in this setting, the middle paper of the package. So I hope that you have a chance of looking at that. In terms of timeliness of this, I think we did reasonably well by focusing on topics that are interesting both for research and both for economic policies. We did not know at that time that tax deductibility of union fees would be an issue. Apparently that's also so, but that was more of an accident. We did know that public sector wage development is going to be an issue for quite a while. That seems to be still the case. A year ago we thought that perhaps these sort of debates would be forgotten. Apparently they're not. Local bargaining versus industry level bargaining, I guess that is a more permanent issue. Extension of the union contracts will be an issue probably until later, and we still don't have a Finnish model that would be sort of established in norms of pattern bargaining in Finland. There are also some issues that we are not talking about, so there's something left for future. We are not going to talk about strikes. We don't have much of the data on strikes because there are so few strikes. Apparently Finland is going to fix that problem, so perhaps that can be studied in the future. Issues. We are not talking about minimum wages because the union contracts still sort of set the minimum standards of jobs or the wages in most places. If the union density erodes, maybe perhaps that will be an issue in the future also. And we are not talking about some interesting issues of non-standard employment, such as growing degree of platform workers. But it's good to have something for the future. But it's better that I end now, and I let the authors of actual articles to present their parts, and then we'll have in the end the comments from the panelists. Thank you.